Nobody wins when the family feels.
So yesterday, I was picked up by the feds, and I was charged in a sex, money, murder RICO indictment. A conspiracy indictment. No, this is real shit. I'm not even joking. Yesterday, I was picked up by the feds and charged in a sex, money, murder RICO indictment. I'm laying down in the house. I see sirens outside. And I hear, Hassan Harris, freeze! FBI! Like I'm being pranked.
Back, the investigation continues into the death of a teenager whose body was found on a driveway in Long County.
When I go to sleep, I imagine what happened to him.
A nightmare no mother should go through.
I think about him being scared. I wonder whether or not he knew what was about to happen to him.
And federal criminal charges against 30 members and associates of the violent sex, money, murder enterprise. Sex, money, murder is a street gang. It's an affiliate or set of the National Bloods gang.
Hey, Mr. Lad, I want to talk to you guys about, fam. Today, I want us to go to Georgia, where it's saying that's the state, that's the capital when it comes to these RICOs. Within the last 24 hours of me making this video, 30 gang members and associates has been indicted on racketeering, murder, drug trafficking, fraud, and firearm charges. An 8-count indictment was unsealed in the Southern District of Georgia. According to court documents and statements in court, SMM, the gang who we'll later speak on, and members and associates were engaged in extreme violence to retaliate against fellow members for perceived violations in gang rules. For example, a SMM member killed one of their own members who wanted to leave the gang, getting off the school bus, and attempt to kill another by repeatedly stabbing them for allegedly homosexual activities while in jail. Today we go over this 60-plus page indictment. The SMM members who allegedly profited from trafficking large amounts of deadly drugs, including methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, throughout the Savannah metropolitan area. They allegedly also made money participating in sophisticated fraud schemes targeting federal COVID-19 relief and unemployment benefit programs that resulted in intended losses of over $850,000. As alleged, sex, money, murder gang is a subset nationally known Bloods gang, brutally enforced and perpetrated rules, killing a 19-year-old member and engaged in rampant drug trafficking and federal program fraud to enrich themselves. Today we take a look how this gang started and where they stand today with this 9-count indictment. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. In the early 1970s, a group of street gangs united and formed a larger gang called the Bloods. The gang originated in Los Angeles, California, but spread it. In the 1990s, the United Bloods Nations, also known as UBN, formed as the East Coast offshoot of the California-based Bloods. The Bloods now exist throughout the United States. The Bloods are broken into individual units known as sets. Sex, Money, Murder is an independent set of the Bloods, also known as SMM. They were established in and around 1989, primarily by Peter Rolak, aka Pistol Pete. SMM began as a local street gang in the Southview section of the Bronx. In the mid-1990s, SMM aligned with UBN in prison. When SMM was predominantly active in Soundview, Sean Carr, aka Nut, aka Nutcase, as well as defendant Robinson Lazaya, aka Mac 11, rose to prominence in the game by the 2000s. SMM had withdrawn from UBN and established itself as an independent set of the Bloods. Since its inception, SMM has spread from the Bronx in New York to areas across the East Coast, including Georgia, where it operates inside and outside of prisons and jails. Now, a high-ranking SMM member who was a part of this indictment had went to Instagram and said the following.
So yesterday, I was picked up by the feds, and I was charged in a sex, money, murder RICO indictment. A conspiracy indictment. No, this is real shit. I'm not even joking. Yesterday, I was picked up by the feds and charged in a sex, money, murder RICO indictment. I'm laying down in the house. I see sirens outside. And I hear, Hassan Harris, freeze! FBI! Like I'm being pranked. Like, hold on, what? FBI? So they take me into custody. They didn't want to tell me my charges. I get there, and my lawyer shows me that I am charged in a RICO conspiracy based in Savannah, Georgia. The Southern District of Savannah, Georgia. Now listen. You see these black spaces? These are my co-defendants. These are my co-defendants. And that's just me. Where the fuck are my co-defendants? They redacted the whole indictment. They redacted everything. Black, redact, black, redact. They redacted everything. They redacted everything. Look at the indictment. I'm charged in a RICO conspiracy. Yo, listen, man. I'm gonna say this much, right? They got RICO conspiracy here, murder in the aid of racketeering, causing death through the use of a firearm, conspiracy to commit murder in the aid of racketeering, wire fraud conspiracy, and drug conspiracy. Now, out of all of this, right, as you can see in the indictment, they got wire fraud conspiracy, and that's what they charged me with, right? So they're saying that I committed wire fraud during the pandemic by getting unemployment and PPP loans. And I'm gonna say this: I maintain my innocence. Everything I do is by the book. I'm not in no conspiracy. I didn't conspire to do anything with anybody. I'm going to fight. I missed to go to trial. Y'all know that. I'm going to trial and I'm going to fight. I do gang prevention, and I do, get anti-gang violence, and that's my movement. And y'all know that. Y'all see it every day. I see it every day. It's like this is an ill attempt to like embarrass me or something, or to make me look like a hypocrite. Or he's doing anti-gang violence, but throw me in a conspiracy with people that I don't even know. From Savannah. I never been to Savannah, Georgia in my life. I never been to Savannah, Georgia in my life, number one. And I can't tell you one person I know right now from Savannah. I couldn't tell you. If you ask me, not one person. Just because, you know how they do. So in the beginning, they start off with, oh, in the 80s, 90s, sex, money, murder, and this, and they go into like the gang. It's like, yo, anything I got to do with them 3 letters, SMM, they want to throw me in there. And I'm telling y'all, I'm walking a straight line. I'm walking a fine line, a straight line. I do not commit crime. I do not commit crime. I don't. I go to work and I go home. And this is just really messed up. That now I gotta fight once again with the legal justice system as I'm walking a straight line and thrown into a conspiracy that have murders on it, that I have nothing to do with, people that I don't even know. Then don't even tell me who these people are. They just black out the whole indictment and then lets me go. Let's talk about that, because I know y'all like to play with niggas' names out here. How did Hocus, get let go? I can hear the trolls now. How did Hocus get let go? And he's in an indictment with murders on it, because Hocus ain't got nothing to do with nobody killing nobody. That's how. Hocus really didn't do nothing. I maintain my innocence. I am going to trial. I didn't conspire. I didn't do no fraud. I did not do no fraud. I do everything by the book with me. It's textbook. Like, yo, for real. So here go my, if y'all want to stop it, the video and see it. I was let out on an unsecured bond of $25,000, which is a signature bond, which means I didn't have to pay it. Why they let me go? I don't know. They let me go because I ain't do nothing. So they locked me up and they throw me in a conspiracy. So right now, I'm fighting a RICO. Well, I'm actually fighting the wire fraud charges, but thrown in a RICO conspiracy. And this is public information. It's going to come out anyway. So I'm putting it out there first, because I don't want y'all to think I'm some hypocrite, right? My voice is my only weapon. I don't want y'all to think I'm some hypocrite really involved in some gang activity, but I'm doing anti-gang shit over here. You know what I mean? I'm doing gang prevention over here. I do not gangbang. I don't. Everybody know this. I'm not in contact with gang members talking gang shit. I'm not texting. I'm not in no gang politics. I go to work and I go home. We are watching modern day. This is modern day. With the FBI and J. Edgar Hoover and them did the Black Panthers and people like Fred Hampton. It's happening right now in our face. Y'all are witnessing it. Y'all see what I'm doing. I'm telling y'all, and I promise y'all, I am not a hypocrite. I am not involved in any gang activity. And I'm not saying this so they could think that I'm trying to play it off, or they could think that I'm innocent. I don't do it. And they know it. They know it, because if they investigate me, they know everything that I do. Y'all got my phone tapped. Y'all know everything. Y'all see the positive. Y'all see the meetings I have with my team and how we want to make a change, and the plans that we implement and doing, and the nonprofit I just started. And y'all see what I'm doing. It had nothing to do with any gang violence, anything gang activity at all. But you throw me in a RICO with people that I don't know in Savannah, Georgia, just because I live in Georgia? I'm telling y'all I'm innocent. Like, just because the feds charge you with something, don't think that maybe he did something. No, I didn't do nothing. I'm telling you, I didn't do nothing. I'm telling y'all I didn't do nothing. Anyway, man, I'm off this. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop doing my roll calls. I'm not going to stop helping y'all. I'm not going to stop doing anti-gang violence. I just ask for that support back from the people because, you know, I need y'all to rally behind me. I need it. Like, y'all see what I'm up against. And we know the real reason why, you know, someone like me is being attacked. It's the positive stuff that I'm doing. And I got one more thing before I go. It's just, I gotta say it. How ironic, it's just how odd is it that it's just one guy that everybody's beef with ends up with a RICO or inside of a RICO. This one guy that everybody beef with. Y'all know who he is. Now Hoke has got a RICO?
Now, I'm not sure who he's talking about and pertains to beefing with somebody and always getting a RICO, but I do have that 60-plus page indictment that's unsealed, including the names. And according to this indictment, certain SMM members hold a specific rank within the game or within a specific set or line. Specific duties and responsibilities are associated with each rank. Now, the SMM rank structure also includes incarcerated members behind the wall and non-incarcerated members on the street. In many instances, leaderships behind the wall also exerts control over memberships on the streets. Rank structures and responsibilities sometimes vary behind the wall and on the streets, but are typically arranged as followed. Royal Flush, 5 individuals who are founding members of the SMM within nationwide control. Next is the Magnificent 7, which consists of the Royal Flush and 2 additional members. The 2 additional members have nationwide influence over SMM activity, but have less control than the Royal Flush members. Next is CEO, formerly known as Big Guns, the highest ranking members within the state, usually within national recognition. Next is the President, formerly known as High or High, a regional or state level leader with authority over specific lines within a given territory, who reports to higher ranking members. Next is the Vice President, formerly known as Low or Low, a lower ranking regional or state level leader with authority over specific lines within a given territory, who reports to higher ranking members. Next is the General, formerly known as Fifth Floor, a ranking member in charge of a local gang set. Next, 4th through 1st floors, which is local ranking members within the 4th floor being the highest rank and the 1st floor being the lowest rank. Last but not least, Scrap, a SMM member without rank. So now we got a pretty idea on what SMM is. Let's go over some of the crimes alleged in this indictment. According to court documents, in February of 2020, Brian Hopkins and other SMM members intercepted a young victim a few hours after he stepped off his school bus. They drove him to a rural residential neighborhood where Hopkins shot him to death. The victim had reportedly expressed a desire to leave the gang after finding out and accusing Hopkins of having sexual relationship with a minor, a female who actually became pregnant. Now, the sad part about this allegation in this indictment is that to lure the victim, his big brother in the gang, a person he trusted, sent him a text message claiming there was an important gang meeting he needed to attend. Believing this, the victim willingly got into the vehicle, unaware he was being taken to the site of his execution. Now, in this indictment, the victim is identified as Away. His real name is Omar Alexander. He was 18 years old when he was found dead in Rad Patch community. Officials say Omar Alexander's body was found near a private drive off Country Line Road by a passing driver.
Back, the investigation continues into the death of a teenager whose body was found on a driveway in Long County.
The body of 18-year-old Omari Alexander was found near a private drive off County Line Road Monday evening. As the Long County Sheriff's Office and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation look into his death, family and friends are grieving. WTOC's Amanda Aguilar spoke with Omari's mom, who says her life will never be the same.
When I go to sleep, I imagine what happened to him.
A nightmare no mother should go through.
I think about him being scared. I wonder whether or not he knew what was about to happen to him.
And thoughts no mother should have.
I realized that, my son is dead.
Day by day, Karan Alexander is slowly learning to accept that her son Omari isn't coming home.
Yesterday, I had to go pick out a casket to bury my 18-year-old son in. Right now, we're putting together programs for my 18-year-old son's funeral.
Now she's left with pictures.
And he's about 4 there.
And memories of someone who always made her laugh.
Oh my gosh, Mari is funny.
Karan describes her son as kind.
At 18, most people of us are just selfish, so it's
But not Omari. Karan says her son had a huge heart.
He'd walk in the house, you know, Ma, so-and-so staying the night tonight. What?
And that was just Omari. It wasn't hard for him to show love to anyone, especially to his 5-month-old son, Amarion.
He was there for Amarion, and a lot of the stuff that he was trying to do was because he had him.
Karan saw Omari growing into a man with a bright future, a future taken away too soon.
Whoever did this, like, I don't want to see anybody else's family in my position.
Long County Sheriff's Office has set up an anonymous tip line, and Karan hopes that will help get justice for Omari.
If you know something, say something.
In Hinesville, Amanda Aguilar, WT.
Can you imagine what that mother was going through, knowing her oldest son was responsible for allegedly luring her youngest son to be killed? Now, within the last 24 hours, she made a statement after finding out about this indictment and the true motive behind why her son was killed. But before we get to that, back in June of 2020, about 4 to 5 months later after the initial incident, Long County Sheriff Craig Nobles said the department worked with Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Community Supervision in securing the arrest of Stephon Woods, 23, and Victoria Davis, 23, both of Hinesville, on June 4, 2020. They was arrested for their part in the demise of Away. Woods was charged with the party to the crime of felony murder and felony probation violation. Davis was charged with felony false statements and writings. Her bond was set at $1,500.
With the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Community Supervision, we would like to announce that we made 2 more arrests involving the murder of Amari Alexander on February 24, 2020, off County Line Road in Long County, Georgia. On June the 4th, Stephon I. Woods, 23, and Victoria B. Davis, 23, both of a Hinesville, Georgia address, were arrested without incident. Stephon Woods has been charged with party to a crime, felony murder, and felony probation violation. Victoria Davis has been charged with felony false statements and writings. This investigation is ongoing, and anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Long County Sheriff's Office or the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Kingsland office.
Sheriff, give me a little background. Refresh my memory on what happened in February in which this young man, who happened to be a Bradwell Institute student, was killed.
Mr. Alexander's body was discovered out on County Line Road February 24th in the afternoon hours. The investigation has led to 2 previous arrests. At this time, we made 2 additional arrests. And this is this time still an ongoing investigation. Anyone with any information pertaining to this crime is please notify Long County Sheriff's Office or Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
Now, yesterday when this indictment was released to the public, OA mom had went to Facebook and said the following: "So this is what happened to my son. He wanted to leave because this bitch was touching little girls." Now, that wasn't the first, but the second murder that's in this indictment revolve around men that wanting to get out the game. But another example of murder, of the 3, is an incident that took place in jail for alleged homosexual activities while incarcerated. Now, on top of the 3 murders that's in this 60-plus page indictment, SMM took great efforts to fund this criminal activity, including setting up a non-profit website called Listening Kids, where donations could be used to fund their organization, with the blood set gang called SMM that include 3 murders, PPP loans, and selling narcotics.
And wire fraud conspiracy. This indictment is a testament to the diligence and dedication of the department's prosecutors and investigative partners in battling violent gangs in the greater metropolitan area of Savannah and beyond. This case reflects a sustained team effort to bring gang members and associates to justice for their tremendous violence, including murders, stabbings, and robberies, and harm they've inflicted to this community. At the outset, I want to take a step back and note that organized violent street gangs threaten the safety and security of our communities. This particular gang, the Sex Money Murder Gang, not only engaged in murder and illegal drug trafficking, both of which contribute to loss of life and spread of addiction, but also federal program fraud, diverting financial relief intended for struggling businesses and individuals during the pandemic. These actions undermine public safety, erode institutions, and exploit systems meant to support vulnerable populations, leaving long-lasting damage in its wake. As alleged in the indictment, the sex money murder enterprise enriched its leaders, members, and associates through drug trafficking, wire fraud, and bank fraud, and by smuggling narcotics and contraband and cell phones into prisons and jails. The sex money murder gang also preserved and protected its power, reputation, territory, operations, and money of the gang through the use of threats, intimidation, and violence, including murders and stabbings and robberies. The sex money murder gang also kept its victims and witnesses to the gang's activities in fear through threats of violence and actual violence. And the sex money murder gang provided financial aid and assistance to incarcerated gang members and associates by posting pretrial detention bonds and funding jail commissary accounts. As alleged in the indictment, the defendants charged today committed heinous acts of violence and other serious crimes in support of and in connection with the sex money murder gang. This included the execution-style murder of a young man on a school bus, getting off the school bus, returning from school in his school uniform, where the gang intercepted him as he got off the bus, took him to a secluded area, and shot him in the head and executed him. It includes a plot to murder certain incarcerated fellow gang members for perceived violations of gang rules, which resulted in a near-fatal stabbing. It involved gunpoint robberies, the distribution of deadly drugs, including methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin throughout the Savannah metropolitan area. And it included sophisticated fraud schemes that targeted federal COVID-19 relief programs, resulting in an intended loss of over $850,000. My thanks goes to the prosecutors from the Criminal Division's Violent Crime and Racketeering Section and the fantastic prosecutors at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Georgia, as well as the investigators from the FBI, the ATF, the Department of Labor, Georgia.
Well, there you have it, fam. As we wrap this video up, we do want to say rest in peace to all the victims that we talked about and love and condolences to you guys' families. That was the latest RICO that happened out in Georgia with the blood set gang called SMM that include 3 murders, PPP loans, and selling narcotics. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments.